It's a Arcanine, Arcanine PC. We're by far the greatest team that the world has ever seen. You look so angry right now, it's not even funny. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? You can call me Kagai. Welcome back to another video here on the channel. If this is your first time here, then a very big special welcome to you. I am your coach of the Arcanine Pokemon Club. That is Arcanine PC for short, and we are here for our Week 6 battle in the NBA Swarm Division. And we are taking on our boy Stormtide, who we actually played last season in the Truant Division Finals. So, a little bit of a finals rematch happening right now, so that's kind of crazy. Really excited to play him. Stormtide is a phenomenal player. Yes, Fiora, I see you. And they also sniped my Sneasler this season, so there's beef. I'm just playing. But they did get Sneasler. They have a very, very, very scary team going on. I'll go ahead and break down their team for you guys. Make sure there's a picture on screen as well for you. And then we will go over the mons that I am bringing for this battle as well. So looking at Stormtide's team, they have the Sneasler, the Ursaluna Bloodmoon, Meowscarada, Sylveon, Starmie, Salamence, which is one of their two Terra Captains, Forretress, Uxie, who's their other Terra Captain, Mega Manectric, and Cofagrigus. So Stormtide actually has my Sneasler and my Mega Manectric from last season. I see you, bro. I'm just playing. Apparently, like, I made believers, so like I'm glad to see that Mega Manectric is being used to a solid degree. Looking at Stormtide's team, Ursaluna Bloodmoon absolutely wrecks my life. I was talking with Poyito Shark about this, who helps me team build and kind of has been like mentoring me a bit in battling. Super great guy, awesome, huge help. And he was like, "What's your answer for Bloodmoon, by the way?" And my answer was, that mon does not exist in my fantasy world that I have built for myself. So if Bloodmoon comes, we may be in trouble. We do have ways around it, but it's a bit of an issue. So we'll deal with that as we get there. Outside of that, Sneasler looks pretty good into my team. We do have a decent way to shut that down, thankfully, with Mega AGGRON. Even a close combat still doesn't do a ton to me, and then I can roar it out afterwards or heavy slam it for big damage. So we've got that going for us. The Meowscarada is a bit of a problem too, but thankfully Thundurus kind of walls it, except if it has triple axle. So that's pretty nice. The main thing I'm worried about is the Terra Salamence. The Terra Salamence kind of goes crazy, especially if it's like D-Dance setup. We're a little cooked, depending on what that has. Thankfully, we do have a Moltres to eat maybe a hit or two, so hopefully, excuse me, we can make that happen. But yeah, Stormtide's got a crazy good team. So that is gonna be interesting to see how we stack up against him. So we right now are currently, this is week 6, so we are currently 4-1. I can't remember what Stormtide's record is. What's his record right now? He is, oh no, this is week 6. So yeah, so we are 4-1. So Stormtide right now is 2-3, so not an amazing season, but I have faith in Stormtide to turn it around. Anyway, I've held you up long enough. Let's go ahead and jump into the mons that I'm going to be bringing this week. So, starting off, we have Red Hot Chili the Moltres, holding heavy-duty boots, of course, with Flame Body, and the moves Default Roost, Whirlwind, Flamethrower. Pretty standard defensive Moltres, max HP, max defense, with a bold nature to boost that defense even higher. Default gets rid of hazards if something like the Meowscarada wants to set up spikes. So that could be good. Same thing with the T-Spikes if we can't bring in our last mon up there on time. Forretress can also set Stealth Rocks as well, so that could be a bit annoying. He's got a decent amount of hazard setters on this team, which is pretty nice. Uxie can also set the Stealth Rocks. So he's got a bunch of hazard possibilities, so that's why I wanted to make sure I had Moltres. The default goes away. Roost heals me. Whirlwind if we need to phase something out like a Salamence, like a +2 Sneasler. We can make that happen. Or even if like a Sylveon starts to go for Calm Minds, that could be helpful. Then we've got Flamethrower there just for raw damage. Hits the Forretress, hits the Meowscarada. Will do good damage to Sneasler, because Sneasler's Spadef is PP bad. So that's kind of the plan for Moltres at the moment. Just kind of be a solid physical wall. Next up is Aqua Tank the Yellow Momola, holding the heavy-duty boots with Regenerator, and the moves Flip Turn, Toxic, Wish, Protect. Again, a very standard set this time. This is sort of a Blood Moon answer, but Calm Mind is a bit of an issue. heavy boost, make sure we won't take hazard damage, or if the Sneasler sets T-Spikes and we need to pivot into Mola, we won't get poisoned. If those get knocked off, that's a bit of an issue, but we're gonna hope that doesn't happen. Flip turns there to keep up momentum, bring in my heavy hitters like Garchomp and Thundy. Toxic to whittle things down like a Sylveon, like a Mega Manectric on switch-in, like a Meowscarada on switch-in. Wish to heal myself up and pass the other team, and then Protect just to make sure that Wish goes off. Max HP, max Spud Def on this thing with a nice and beautiful sassy nature with min speed to make sure we are going last, getting those late flip turns off to keep a momentum. So that's kind of the play. Regenerate also heal us for 33% every time we switch out. There's a reason why I think this thing is very good. Like, I know people clown on Mola, but it's a great support Pokemon. What can I say? So that's going to be Mola this week. Hopefully it can be a little bit Spadef and eat up a couple of hits. I thought about running, like, AV with Mirror Coat for something like the Mega Manectric or maybe even a special Salamence or the Blood Moon. But I ended up going with this instead just because Wish Passing was so nice into the rest of our team. So that's why I went for that. Next up is Storm Rider, the Thunderous Therian holding the leftovers with Volt Absorb. And the moves Agility, Thunderbolt, Sludge Wave, Nasty Plot. This thing kind of just wins, depending on what Stormtide brings. Like I said, Ursulina the Blood Moon does not exist in this canon. It does not exist. It cannot hurt me. It does not exist at the moment. So you might be thinking to yourself, Kai, you can hit a bunch of things on this team. Thunderbolt hits the Sneasler. Sludge Wave hits the Meowscarada. Thunderbolt hits the Mence before Terras. Sylveon doesn't want to take a Sludge Wave, especially not at +2. Thunderbolt hits Starmie. Sludge Wave with Terra Poison hits Manectric. Basically, we do a lot to this team. Again, Ursulina Blood Moon's the issue. It does not exist in this timeline. But we are rocking a good amount of HP. 216 puts at 353 HP. Max Special Attack, Modest Nature. Force Spadef is just kind of there. And then 36 speed lets me hit 247. Which I believe is enough to outspeed a Scarf Mence, I want to say, after we Agility. I'm pretty sure that was what the play was. Unless maybe it was Scarf Meow. What does Scarf Meow hit? It was either Scarf Meow or Scarf Mence. I can't remember which. That would put us at 494, so it's probably Mence. I think Meowscarada hits higher than that. But either way, we'll be able to outspeed basically everything except an Unburdened Sneasler after we Agility. Which is good. So that'll be very helpful. And then we've got the Agility here to boost our speed, Nasty Plot to boost our special attack 2 stages, Thunderbolt, Sludge Wave with Terra Poison, hits everything super hard except Blood Moon. It does not exist in this timeline. So that'll be Storm Rider. Next up, we got Behemoth the Garchomp holding a loaded dice with Rough Skin. The moves Swords Dance, Scale Shot, Earthquake, and Iron Head. Pretty standard SD Chomp set. I thought about running Sub on this, but the Iron Head kind of went really good for a Terra Fairy Uxie or a just a plain old Sylveon, because if you don't know, Uxie has Levitate, so if it Terra Fairies, then we cannot touch it, and that is one of his Terra Captains, so we gotta be wary of that. So that's why instead of running Sub Swords Dance, I went with the Iron Head this week to make sure we can actually hit everything, because if he ran the Terra Fairy, we would be kind of screwed, for lack of a better word. But loaded dice, make sure we get 4 scale shots off as long as we hit them. That 90% accurate, gonna be a little bit interesting. Swords Dance boosts our attack to +2. Rough Skin makes the opponent take some chip damage if they make contact with us. Earthquake does good damage to the Mega Manectric. Does a lot to Fortress at +2 as well. Easily one-shot Sneasler as well. Iron Head's mainly there for Sylveon as well as a Terra Fairy, on the Mence or the Uxie. We're rocking 252 attack, 16 HP, 240 speed, lets me hit 330, which I believe is enough to outspeed a Jolly Salamence, because I believe that hits 328 or 329. Is this a jump point? It is, so it probably hits 329, because that's a base 100, I believe. Yeah, so that's to outspeed a Jolly Salamence. So we'll always outspeed his Salamence unless he has Choice Scarf, but if we get a Scale Shut off, then we guarantee outspeed his Salamence, so we're chilling. That's Behemoth. Next up is Large Body, the AGGRON holding the Aggronite with Filter, and the moves Stealth Rock Roar, Heavy Slam, Fire Punch. Hazards of choice this week going on AGGRON to get those rocks up, make the Mence take chippies, make the Sneasler take a little bit of chip, same with the Meowscarada if it's not running boots, same with the Manectric, that thing get whittled down is very nice for us. Roar is there to phase things out like a Calm Mind Sylveon, like a Calm Mind Uxie. If the Salamence goes for Dragon Dance, if the Sneasler goes for Swords Dance, even something like a Calm Mind Blood Moon, we will eat 1 Earth Power thanks to Filter. Not well, but we will eat 1. Then we've also got Heavy Slam there for damage, as well as Fire Punch mainly for the Fortress. It doesn't really have any other utility besides that. I thought about running Body Press this week for the Meowscarada, but Heavy Slam does so much anyway that's just like, eh. Plus, it's going to be going for Protein anyway, so depending on the typing, Body Press might become resistant if it goes for something like a T-Spike. I think it gets T-Spikes. Pretty sure it does. So, either way, max HP, max defense on this guy. We're going all out on the defense to make sure we can wall that Sneasler, make sure we can wall that Meowscarada, making sure we can wall, I believe that's it. Yes. Oh, no, that Salamence, if it's physical. So that way we got answers for both of those. And then we are also in Impish Nature to boost that defense even higher. That's going to be Large Body. And finally, Parasol Beauty. The Fezandipity holding the Assault Vest with Toxic Chain. And the moves U-Turn, Play Rough, Poison Jab, Heat Wave. Pretty interesting set this week. We're rocking the max HP, max Spadef on this thing. Fully Spadef invested Fezandipity with indeed a nice and careful nature. The main thought of this is, like, you might be thinking, like, well, you don't have Roost on this. How are you going to heal this thing up? That's what Aqua Tank's here for, to wish past to my Fezandipity, because Fez hard walls Special Salamence. It hard walls Mega Manectric. It hard walls the Sylveon. Depending on the Blood Moon's set, we can also kind of do good chip to that as well. So we've got a little bit of utility going on too. This thing can also live a hit from certain types of Sneaslers, as well as even a Salamence here and there. Fezandipity is crazy bulky, what can I say? But U-Turn's there to keep up momentum. Play Rough is mainly there for the Ments, for the Meowscarada. It also does good damage to the Sneasler as well. Poison Jab does good damage to Meowscarada. And also it's just a nice solid poison move. Heat Wave is mainly here for the Fortress. Yes, we're lowering our special attack with our nature, but it doesn't really matter because it's 4 times weak move anyway, so it'll do at least half every single time, even if he's max Spadef, I'm pretty sure. So that way we're always two-shotting that Fortress and making sure his hazards are staying away. And then we're, like I said, we're max HP, max Spadef on this thing. So that's going to be Parasol Beauty. So that's going to be our team this week for the battle against Stormtide. Let me know what you guys would have done differently down in the comments below. What do you think I did well? What do you think I could improve on? Make sure to let me know that as well. I think I've held this up long enough. Why don't we go ahead and jump into the battle? So I will see you guys just a moment. All right, we are back. Got all connected with Stormtide, had the battle, and it's time for a little post-commentary action. So looking at their team, we do not see the Blood Moon. Kai was correct in his prediction. It does not exist in this timeline. Thankfully, it doesn't, because we would have been in a lot of trouble if it showed up. But outside of that, he brings kind of what I expected him to bring. I'm surprised at the lack of Starmie, but I guess his spinner is probably the Fortress. Everything else I kind of expected. The 6 I thought were probably Ments, Meowscarada, either Uxie or Sylveon. So that'd be 3. Sneasler, Starmie, and Blood Moon. That's kind of what I expected, but I'm happy to see the Fortress because we have a lot for that. I'm happy to see the Sylveon because Garchomp can do a lot to that with our Iron Head at +2. Same with AGGRON. AGGRON kind of hard wall Sylveon, so that's really helpful. Looking at possible leads, he might just lead Meowscarada, he might just lead Sneasler to get some momentum up on his side. Lead with his 2 fastest mons, get a free Yui off. He could also lead with the Uxie as well instead of his Rocks if he's got him, or the Fortress. So thinking about it, my best lead is probably either Fez or Moltres. I can't remember who I lead with here. So he does lead the Meow as I go ahead, and I do lead with my AGGRON. I think my idea was I just wanted Rocks up immediately here. It's been a bit since I've had this battle, unfortunately. I think I wanted Rocks up immediately because, like, getting Rocks onto the Ments, getting Rocks damage onto the Sylveon, the Meow if he's not Boots, it's pretty nice. So, I could stay in right here. I could set my Rocks. If he's got low kick, it probably does a good amount of damage. I am just going to Mega Evolve, though. He's going to U-turn, get up his momentum. Does absolutely nothing because we are max HP, max defense. In comes the Uxie, and I'm going to go ahead and just fire off some big damage. 40%! Not bad. So he's probably not fully invested in defense. He might be specially defensive. He might even be Assault Vest. Because that Heavy Slam did a lot. I do not have any attack investment, so that's big, big damage. We see he's not heavy, he's leftovers. Okay, so here I could just go for the extra damage, get off another Heavy Slam, or I could go for the Stealth Rocks. He's going to yawn me. I am just going to click Heavy Slam. That's a bit annoying because now if I KO this thing next turn with how slow AGGRON is, then I will be put to sleep, and that could let something in like the Sneasler or the Salamence to set up. So that's a bit annoying. So I have to weigh that option in my mind. Is it worth it to just kind of KO the Uxie and get it gone? Is it worth it to swap out to something like the Fez or even something like Moltres here? I think I do weigh my options. I do end up swapping out into my Fezandipity here. As we see, he's going to U-turn. He makes a very good play on his part. And in is going to come the Fortress. We've got tech for that, so I'm not too upset by that. I can just freely go ahead and click my Heat Wave right here. Like I said, I have no special attack investment, and I'm even lowering my special attack with my nature, and that still did 89%. So he's more than likely Fizz Def on this thing. He's just going to go ahead and set up his rocks. That is fine by me. I was doing some calcs to see if Play Rough killed from this range. It was a close one. I actually don't believe it did, so I think my best play here was just Heat Wave again. But that thing having almost no HP is nice because Moltres can kind of come in on a good amount of his team, like the Meow or the Mence, and just defog goes away. So that's really nice. In comes the Sneasler. I'm going to Heat Wave just to get chip. Does 0. Makes sense because this thing is not 4 times weak to this move. So what can you do? Looking at his team, I can't really stay in on this guy. It's a bit annoying for me, but I will have to swap out into either my AGGRON or my Amola, and I do go AGGRON here. Actually, no, not Mola, Moltres, excuse me. As he's just going to Poison Jab, I'm immune to that, so that's nice. He might be Choice Band if he's locked in right here. Let's see. He is not locked in. He goes for the UE right there, maybe predicting me to double. He also could just bring in the Fortress right here, but I do got that Heavy Slam, and that is a 2-shot, which is nice. I could just go for the Heavy Slam here. I think I end up revealing my Fire Punch tech. Do I? Yeah, I do, just because I think it was a roll. I think I got a high roll the first time. If I got a low roll, that could have been a bit annoying if he steps some spikes or something. So I figured just reveal the tech. I don't think it really matters for anything except maybe the Meow. I'm just going to Fire Punch it and take it out. And we get the first blood going for us, so the Fortress is gone. He brings in the Uxie. I'm like, okay, that's fine. I'm guessing he's probably just going to yawn me. That is okay. As we see, he's actually got the Encore, which is kind of heat. But now, my Fire Punch is still doing decent damage. Not a ton, but decent damage. So another Fire Punch will take this thing out. But, we see here, I'm actually going to double. I think I predicted the, I don't know what I think I was predicting the yawn right there, but then I could have just swapped out next turn. I'm not sure why I didn't just go for the damage. I guess if I went for Fire Punch into the Salamence, it could have been annoying. Just because it wasn't doing much, and then he'd be able to set up a D-Dance for free. So I was like, alright, I'll just bite the bullet on that one. He does bring in the Mence. I'm going to go back and scroll back up so you guys can see, but he is Terra Ghost, Mence, and Terra Steel Uxie. So that is what we are working with at the moment. So Terra Ghost is going to hurt a little bit, especially if he goes for it here. He is going to Terra Ghost. He goes for the EQ. I can just freely U-turn on out. Do I get a poison? I do not. Mola can Wish Pass this up later on something like the Sylveon or the Uxie, so that's pretty good. In comes my Moltres. If he's got the Rock Slide, so be it. I don't really care. We see he actually swaps there, so he might end up being either Choice Scarfed or Choice Banded. So that's good intel. As I'm just going to go ahead and defog these rocks away, so now the Fortress has amounted for nothing, and we have cleared rocks on our side, which means Fez can also switch back in later, which is nice. And I actually am going to bring it in right now, and he's going to go for the Wish right here. I'm just going to click Play Rough once. I thought about clicking the Poison Jab, but on the off chance he went into something like the Meowscarada right there. Well, no, that wouldn't have done. I don't know. I guess if he would have gone Mence, I guess that Poison Jab would have been a better play overall. Oh well. He's just going to Baton Pass right here out into the Uxie. This is kind of what I figured he would do. And I was hoping... I think I went for this because it was stronger. Yeah, because Poison Jab is base 80 and Play Rough is base 90. That makes sense, because if he I didn't know he had Baton Pass, so if he hard swapped into Uxie right there, I think Poison Jab barely KO'd or had a chance to, whereas Play Rough was almost guaranteed. So in my defense, I think that actually was a smart play, even if it was if it looks stupid, which in retrospect, it kind of looks stupid, but I guess it also makes sense. But that Uxie's gonna get back to full. I know I should outspeed this thing, so I can just freely U-turn on out. Do I get a poison? I do not. AGGRON can come in on this thing all day. As we see, he's gonna Psychic Noise. That's fine. I don't even have a healing move on my Pheasantipity. And now Heavy Slam is free again. But he is gonna go for the Yawn once again. I'm just gonna set my rocks right here. I know I'm not gonna stay in because I do not want AGGRON getting put to sleep. And now it is time to sack Fez. As he U-turns, Fez still lives somehow. In comes the Sneasler. That is fine. If he wants to KO me, that's fine. He does U-turn and KO me. But now I get momentum on whatever wants to come in, which is the Uxie. So I can freely go ahead and get some momentum off on this and bring in my Thundy. Based on previous calcs, he is more than likely Spadef. And we do go for the T-Bolt and see that it only does 33, so he is 100% Spadef. I didn't want a nasty plot right there, just because the Yawn I figured was coming out immediately. So just getting damage off on this thing was nice. He will still get leftovers back at the end of the turn, but just getting damage off on this guy is pretty good for me. Letting it take extra chip. I can freely pivot into my AGGRON. As we see, he's just going to U-turn on out. Good play on his part. Back into the Sneasler, and I'm like, I can promise you I eat it. Like, no matter, if you want to close combat me right now, go right ahead. I promise you I eat it. As we see, he is going to CC. AGGRON takes 37. This thing is a demon. This thing is an absolute demon. And now AGGRON with the Heavy Slam picks up the KO on the Sneasler. That's 2 KOs for Mega Ag already. That's my GOAT. Large body. The large body coming in clutch. And he comes back into the Salamence. Terra goes, it only does 16. Bro, AGGRON, you legend. Oh my god, Mega AGGRON. And that's a 2-hit KO on the Mence. That's crazy, dude. I thought about preserving this, but I think the better play there is just sack it off. It would still be helpful for the Meow in the back, but I think Garchomp plus Thundy kind of just wins now, especially with this thing being as low as it is. So I'm like, alright, I'll sack off AGGRON. He is going to get his Moxie boost, so I'm pretty sure he's probably Scarf. We do see he swaps here, so that tells me more than likely probably is Choice Scarf. More than likely probably is. We would have eaten one Terra Ghost, Terra Blast, even at +1. He's going to bring this in. I'm just going to click EQ, and we KO the Sylveon. So now he's down to 3 as we have our 4 left and all are at 100% HP. Whereas his Mence and his Uxie are pretty low and he cannot wish pass those up with Sylveon anymore now that those are gone. Assuming Meow comes in, he is not heavy duty boots, tells me he has probably got the triple axle being like, hey, you want to stay in, buddy? And I'm like, no, I don't. So Moltres comes in, he gets the triple axle off, 1, misses the second axle and gets burned. That is the most unfortunate thing I've ever seen happen when someone has clicked triple axle. Only getting the 1 axle into burn is crazy. Like, that's just like, you're you at that point you just weren't meant to win at that point. Like that's crazy unlucky. So unfortunate for Stormtide, fortunate for us. We see he is packing the tech. I've seen this before, where people tech the power gem on Meowscarada for Moltres, because otherwise Moltres kind of shuts it down. We live it, and we can easily KO it back with a nice and beautiful flamethrower. Mence wants to come back in, that's fine by me. I don't be caring. I can just sack my Molt right here. And then my swap into my Garchomp is free. I can just go ahead and click either EQ or Scale Shot right here because I know I live 1. He is Choice Scarf like we figured. EQ will take him out, so all that leaves is the Uxie, who is on 21% as we click our Scale Shot. And that is going to be a GG in the chat. GG's Stormtide on that battle. Your Arcanine Pokemon Club, your Arcanine PC. Pick up that hashtag Dubski and move to 5-1 on the season. Currently tied for the #1 seed at the moment. So that is really, really cool. Yeah, this was a good game. Let's check out Stormtide's team. So he was the Scarf on the Mence. Brick Break, I'm not sure what the tech was there. I'm not quite sure what the Brick Break was for. Rollout for Moltres is kind of insane. Earthquake makes sense. Terra Blast Ghost makes sense. So he was a pretty standard Meowscarada triple axle for the Chomp, U-turn for momentum, knockoff, and then Power Gem for Molt. Again, standard on the Sneasler with protective pads, making sure it doesn't get burned. Rock Slide for Moltres. Man, everybody's got to prepare for my Moltres. I love my Moltres so much. Stealth Rock, Gyro Ball, Rapid Spin, Ice Spinner on the Fortress for Garchomp is pretty cool. Sylveon, very standard. Wish Baton, Pass Protect, Hyper Voice, Max Spadef, Max HP.
Yuxi set was cool. The Psychic Noise Encore with the U-turn, as well as Yawn, was kind of fire. Very, very cool team. But we are going to pick up that Dubsky and move to 5-1 on the season. Like I said, first seed at the moment, currently tied. So we'll see how that ends up going for us throughout the rest of the season. But let me know what you guys thought about the battle down in the comments section below. Let me know what you would have done differently. Let me know what you think I did well. And definitely subscribe if y'all are new around here, and especially if you're enjoying the Draft League content, because I really appreciate that. It really helps me out a ton, and it lets me know you want me to keep making these kinds of videos. That is basically it for today. Thank you guys for checking out this Draft League battle. We'll be back here next Sunday. I will give you guys a spoiler. Next week, we do get a win because of a forfeit match. So technically, we are 6-1. So next week, you will be getting our Week 8 battle, which actually determines, because we are facing the number 4 seed at the moment, who, if they beat us, will have better diff and get the 1 seed. If we win, we lock in 1 seed. So next week's battle guarantees a match for the number 1 seed. So that's pretty cool to see. So make sure you guys are coming back here next Sunday to check that out. But I've been Kai Guy. Thank you guys so much for checking out this video. I will catch you guys next time. Until then, take care and